Welcome to Go Get This Podcast, a podcast about we haven't quite decided if we're going to keep doing it anyway. I'm Colby.
And I'm a sea bass in a bikini. You can call me Fee.
God. Fee was playing Fall Guys on stream right before we started recording, and my wife and I started playing with him, and
it was great.
I don't know how, but the conversation turned to fish having titties, and I, not a fan. I'll just come out and say it. Not a fan.
I mean, neither am I. I'm not.
Sure. No. That's why you brought it up, of course.
I was
so gross. Ew.
I didn't say it was gross. I'm just not a fan. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's specify. I said, if that were to happen, it couldn't be an Earth fish. It would have if we were in space and like this is Star Trek, there'd have to be an alien race already of fish people. Mm-hmm. And of course, I wouldn't pass up my chance to have sex with an alien, a fish alien.
But what if it was a fish alien that just looked like a fish? Just like a regular sea bass, but you knew it came from somewhere else.
So it doesn't have like arms or legs. It's not like
it's
walking
a fish.
Like us. Oh God, no. Is it sentient? Does it have is it talking?
It can't talk to you. But you think that it probably is sentient because it's part of a civilization, a very large, thriving civilization.
But it's just a fish. It looks just like a fish.
Yep, it just looks like a fish. It's part of a civilization. It has a job. It just can't communicate with you.
I'd say no. It's too...
Yeah, that's the correct answer, Fee, because it's a fish.
Exactly. But if it was an alien fish, like an anthropomorphic fish, and it had its head wasn't just like a fucking disembodied fish head.
If it was like the Zora from Legend of Zelda, then yeah.
If it had fish-like features, or fucking what are like water-based life forms called? Like
amphibian?
Yeah, that fish is an amphibian. That's a frog.
Fish.
Like sea.
Fishy.
Fishibian.
Yep, that's the one. Mm-hmm.
That's the one. That's it. I've coined it.
It's like lesbian, but for just I guess it's just fish lesbian. Fishbian.
That is speaking of lesbian. That's how Fall Guys procreate. They they take out their funny costumes and like they're just beans, but then they scissor, and a baby is made. There is no gender.
Fee proposed this, and like it's almost as if like, so if you didn't use the verb scissor, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure, because like for Fall Guys, the characters in Fall Guys are jelly beans with arms and legs, and they're by the way canonically like 8 feet tall.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they're terrifyingly big.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
But in Fee's canon, like you couldn't. It's not just like they like rub together and then a baby happens.
Yeah.
Specifically, the verb is scissoring.
Look, I mean, they have to get their bottom halves to rub. That's
Why?
where their like erogenous zones are. That's where their non-genitalia. That's where like the
why isn't it their back?
No, because that's not sexy.
Oh my God, none of this is sexy, Fee. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, you're right. It's not sexy. I don't believe it is.
Who would?
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird. I'm just eating my lasagna over here.
Oh no! Like, I can't imagine them being like, "Oh, let's get in the bed," and they're fucking back to back, just bear scratching like against each other.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things you can't imagine, Fee.
I can imagine a lot of things.
I mean, have you ever imagined like two amorphous ghosts trying to have sex? It's like mitosis, but in reverse, right? Like
no. So there's just like amorphous blobs, but they're like the cartoony ghosts with like the little opening and leg on the bottom. So the other ghosts,
no legs,
no, not legs, like the floaty like sheet looking part.
Yep.
So, like, the other ghost would just get under and float, like, inside the other ghost. Repeatedly, back and forth. That's how baby ghosts are made.
These two ghosts are like, oh yeah, you want to have sex, and like the other ghost is like, yeah, well, I'll assume the position. The other one is like, I'd like to top this time. And first ghost is like, Robert, like, you know how this works. You have to be able to fit inside of me, and you're too big.
We've already decided if you want a top, you can find a bigger ghost.
You get a hall pass, okay? Just the one though. Only for Robert Downey Jr. Ghost.
Just for Andre the Giant Ghost.
Yeah.
Just for fucking the Great Khali. Mm-hmm. God, like that. No, I'm sure they can change their size. They can morph their body into like anything. They're malleable.
They're not Gumby.
They're ghosts. They don't have a form. You say they have an amorphous form. They can.
Yeah, I guess. So what I was imagining is like two, just like amoebas that happen to be ghosts, right?
Well,
like that's what I'm imagining.
Amoebas can like stretch thin their form.
Yes, that's true. They can do that. But you're like you brought this into no. These are ghosts that are the sheet ghosts, and I have never seen like. You never see a big sheet ghost, right? Like you never see like a building size sheet ghost, because if they could do that, why wouldn't they do that?
Well, maybe they are. You don't know. They're like invisible to the naked eye.
Well, then how do we know what they look like, Fee? Fucking check and mate.
Imagination and fucking chutzpah. Fucking
keen writing. That's how.
I'm sure someone has seen a ghost and they're like, God, that looks like a bedsheet.
And they wrote it down.
They wrote it down. All they did was wail. Like, little did they know that ghost was like having a hangover and didn't want to come out from bed. And that was the one time someone saw a ghost.
Like every major philosopher in the past like 1,000 years was just like high as balls, and one of them was just like, you know what? I bet when you die, you turn into a bed sheet. Mm-hmm. That's probably it. And people were like, "Oh wow, this guy fucking thinks a lot. We gotta write this down." Bed sheet goes, yeah.
This guy's on the right path. Like what else could like it have been? Like no one really thinks about it. It had to have been that one guy who he had to have had like ADHD. Mm-hmm. He was just like, so what if when you die, like you're just a bed sheet?
You're just a sheet, and that's the thing. Like. All the rest of the ghost logic flows from there, because it's like the man proposes, yeah, when you die you turn into bedsheet, and then someone is like, well, yeah, I mean that doesn't make any sense. Why would you, like, okay, let's assume that. You know what's really sad is that you turn into a bedsheet and then you're stuck inside of a house. No, you could fly. You can fly. Yeah, it's fine.
You can fly and pass through objects. So.
No. He didn't come up with that part yet, because someone said, "Oh, well, you could fly." But what if someone changes the locks on the door, and then he goes, well, you could just go through the walls." Really? Now we're just changing the rules. Now ghosts can just go through the fucking walls, I guess.
Guys, like there is no rules. We're spitballing here.
He's like, no, that's what ghosts do, and you could also kill ghosts if you hit them with an apple hard enough. People said, I'm not writing that one down. All right, we stopped at the last one. We went through the walls, and I'll give you that. We can't give you the apple thing.
They put in like a hard fucking line. They're like, no, these are the rules, no more. And that guy was just like, well, I gotta.
You're coming up with are fucking stupid, Jeff.
He's like, I got 1 million of them though, and then like he fucking went on to write like for vampires, like
yeah, exactly. Oh. He's like, no, did you know werewolves are afraid of sulfur? And they're like, oh, okay.
And like he writes like this badass fic for vampires, like they're creatures of the night and they fucking stalk people. But if you're in a house, you're fine because they can't go in unless they're invited.
Yeah. He said, well. Somebody said like strong. Somebody was reading that book. They were reading this vampire story from this man, and they were like, "This really does sound like bedsheet ghost, right? Like you die and then you're just bedsheet ghost. So like these guys can just face the wall." And he's like, "No, it's actually the exact opposite. You have a real body, and you can't phase into any walls. No walls you could phase into. Exactly. In fact, when you lock the doors, and if you don't invite someone in, they can't even break into the house.
They're forever locked out."
It's pretty fucking awesome, actually.
But they can transform into bats and a wolf when they want to. Just so that you know, that kind of takeaways from them having to not go in a house. Also, they can't eat garlic.
Oh yeah, garlic. No. Why can't they eat garlic? Because I hate garlic. Fuck garlic.
I was gonna say, didn't you say last week that you hated garlic? No.
Well, wait, did I? No. Did I say that to you? No, I wouldn't say that. So I think one of my favorite things. So like, there's a video game called Coffee Talk,
okay.
which is like, it's really good. It's kind of like a. I don't know. I guess whatever type of game Phoenix Wright is, except without the mystery. It's just you just talk to people.
I was gonna say, isn't it just like not like a book simulator? It's a video
visual
game
novel.
Visual novel. That's the word.
It's like a visual novel.
Let's say video game book.
But there's no romance. So
yeah.
But yeah,
well,
like
not every novel's a romance.
That's true. But every visual novel is.
Is Phoenix
every
Wright
visual
a romance?
novel you have to like pick between like fucking your best friend who's a nice guy and fucking the bad boy down the street who stole your bike.
But if you pick the right choices, you get the sea bass in a bikini.
Correct, exactly. You get the hidden pigeon boyfriend.
See, I think if we were to, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if we were to write a visual novel like that, like a dating sim, I want, and this is just my one special want, to be a secret like bikini sea bass.
No.
Come on!
I'm
dude.
not doing it, Fee. I would never do that, Fee.
Why? Why? People clamoring for it.
People just want it. So yeah, in this game, it's basically you're the barista. By the way, this sounds like the ideal job. You're the barista of a coffee shop that opens up after sundown. And you stay open until like really late at night. So like the whole concept is that people come in like super late at night or like after a bar or like to unwind. It's basically a bar, but it's just you serve coffee. And in the world of Coffee
24
Talk,
hour?
No, it's not 24 hour. It only opens at night, which is I think that's sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in the world of Coffee Talk, you like you're one human character in a sea of like. There's like elves and werewolves and fucking vampires and stuff, and all of them.
It's like that one anime, Restaurant in Another Universe.
Yeah. It's just like that. Yeah. And you know, there's lore about like the fucking mermaid people. And there's like a diplomatic. Who gives a shit? Anyway, they added onto the lore of a werewolf character. There's this big fucking werewolf character who hangs around this like. This like Twinkie werewolf or a vampire, and he's like, the werewolf is like, oh yeah, you know, we've all found like ways to deal with what happens on like full moons. You know, there's like at the hospital they have rooms that you can lock yourself in. They have like sedation tools. They have like generic things that will like calm your anger. But
do they wear moon glasses?
They don't actually. It's just like you're a regular hairy dude. Whenever it's not the full moon, and then full moon shows up, and you're a fucking huge monster, big wolf man.
I hate to cut you off again. Like I hate that about were creatures. Like their human forms sometimes take features from their monster form. And that's the worst one I can say for werewolves. That their human forms, like, get hairy. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool.
They're like, man, I used to be able to walk around without a shirt, and now people laugh at me.
Now people say, is that Chewbacca?
Yeah, everybody's really embarrassed for me, and I hate it. But yeah, so the lore that they added was like... was in addition to all of those things, every person has a unique, special like drink or food that you can have that will calm your nerves and make you not into a rabid fucking animal. And so part of what you do is like this guy comes in and he's like, yeah, I kind of like drinks that are like this, but I'm really looking for something that'll help me on the full moon. And so you've got a little bit to play with some drinks. You've got a couple of chances to like, is it like coffee and milk and tea, or is it fucking coffee and I don't know what, honey and milk or chocolate, So like you could play with all these ingredients and then like you come up with this like perfect drink, right? That is that's the one that's gonna fucking calm my nerves. It's like that was my favorite additional piece of lore because it's so harmless.
Yeah. That it doesn't interrupt the already established lore.
Yeah, and it's also like if your friend is a werewolf, and then it's like full moon time, he's like, oh no, like your full moon's coming, you better get ready. Oh, hang on, let me go make the margaritas. Fucking like, hang on, let me go in there and warm up your little baby bottle full of milk. Shut up, I'll fucking kill you if you don't give it to me. Yeah, I know.
I'm transforming. Give me the chamomile.
Yeah, yeah. Give me the sleepy time tea.
That all derived from like my ADHD brain, which has been running on all cylinders lately.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that's what it seems like. Because yesterday, Fee just popped into our Discord and was like, "We really need a channel for like." Just like random thoughts that you have. And we were like, just say your random thought. And Fee was like, I was wondering what it would be like if I woke up as a snake and what would I do? And I was like, oh, it's that kind of thought.
What would y'all do? Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do if you woke up as a snake?
There was a bunch of interesting answers, but then it came down to being like, Colby was like, what if everyone say in the group got powers and you got stuck with fucking being a were-snake?
Yeah, like that's God, you have no idea how fucking angry I would be if like, people could fly and people could teleport and like transform into, like produce clones of themselves, right?
Yeah.
And then you just turn into like one slithery boy.
One fucking noodle lad. Just and it was a gardener snake, like specifically.
Yeah,
not even a badass
not poisonous,
one.
Not big, just a very small garden snake, a garter snake that you go around, you eat some bugs, you eat a mouse. That's your whole thing.
That's who you are. So like, and the way the activated these powers were, like a Sentai, like. Mm-hmm. They're all just like, the group together and transform, and then like you transform into a snake and just be like, all right, we're not on a sneaking mission, so you gotta chill.
Yeah,
you gotta hang back.
We're actually gonna go fight people, so you've got to like stay here. I feel like the way in which you balance this out, right, is you have a group of like 5 characters. Mm-hmm. 4 of them have these really great, really like awesome powers, but their powers dissolve whenever they're too far away and they can only activate it when they're touching, which so they're all regular people. They have to touch and they all have to be transformed into their super forms. And one person is a fucking shitty garter snake, right? Like, so you've got like fucking the Thing shows up and fucking Mistress Teleportation, Mr. Night Hands.
Yeah. I would
Snake.
I would say the snake would have to be on like someone who's like a supportive power, like teleporting or like psychic. They just stay in like a snake pouch. And then they're just like, all right, I see an opening to go and like turn off the world destruction machine. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna slither over. Yeah. They won't even know I'm there.
Yeah, here, teleport me into the machine. I'll bite some stuff, I guess. Okay.
You're good. You're a good part of the team. Just remember, just fucking reassuring you.
You're such a special boy, and we love that you're here so much. Shut the fuck up!
I'm just fucking sad.
I'm out here doing my best. You're patronizing me. Don't teleport into the sun, idiot.
I didn't ask to be a snake. Emo ass snake. I didn't ask to have these powers. Yeah. You're as useless as the guy from that movie Sky High, who just turns into a puddle.
Man, I have not seen Sky High. Was Drake Bell in that?
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was. Was he in something else?
Kurt Russell was in it though.
Ooh.
He was like the All Might of that universe.
We do stand an All Might that's played by Kurt Russell.
There's the useless sidekicks. Oh, Bruce Campbell was in a movie too.
Oh, he was in Superhero movie. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's a good movie too, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
God, terrible.
I thought it was good. Fucking Leslie Nielsen is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover, and the cover looks horrific.
It is. It's one of those movies that came out after Scary Movie died down, and they tried to bring it back with like a vengeance.
Yeah.
But somehow because I think it was written by the Scary Movie guys because Leslie Nielsen's in it and Kevin Hart. It was.
Do you mean hold on. Okay, yes, Kevin Hart is in it. I thought you were confusing him with Tracy Morgan.
No, Kevin Hart.
Tracy Morgan is in it, but I was like, Faye, you're confusing your black people again.
No. Kevin Hart is in that movie.
He is. I confirmed it.
He's Drake Bell's high school friend. But yes, that movie's like mid, but it's decent. But
was there any good Scary Movie besides the first one and maybe the second one?
The second one was
fine.
No, second one was good. I love the
second one was fine. I didn't think it was as good or novel as the first one. The third one is whenever it's like, I can't, there's no more. It's been done. I don't need to see it anymore. This is not good anymore.
The thing with part 3 is they started like deviating from just scary movies.
Mm-hmm. So it's because they ran out of fucking material.
Well, they used it all up in part 1 and 2.
They were like, well, what's another scary movie thing? Well, isn't it crazy that ghosts are bed sheets? No, they dipped into the lore, you know?
Yeah, they fucking had a lot more fucking cameo. Actually, there is a good scene in 3 because that was when Charlie Sheen came on and they did the Signs storyline.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's when you got the white rapper and he was funny. And then there was the Charlie Sheen fighting Michael Jackson scene, which I'll YouTube every once in a while because it makes me chuckle.
Leslie Nielsen was in Scary Movie 3 as well.
And 4. He was the president.
Man.
And he was funny. And Ja Rule was his, top security. Was it Ja Rule?
But here's the thing. Why?
Because it's
But funny. Why, though?
I think it's Leslie Nielsen at that point didn't care, but he was, he's doing his best.
Oh, God, Simon Cowell was in it. I'm looking at Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell, it looks like someone. So, do you know? I don't know if you've have you ever prepared a turkey for Thanksgiving?
Yes.
So, one of the things that you could do with a turkey is you can, separate the skin from the meat, and you, get in there, and you, marinate just the meat bit, under, and you put some butter in there, you, stuff it herbs, and, you get some stuff in there. And unfortunately, it does make the turkey look like a lumpy version of itself. That's what's happened to Simon Cowell's face, and I hate looking at him now.
You know what's funny? Simon Cowell has been in a lot of animated movies as himself doing the American Idol gag.
Is he relevant anymore? Does anyone give a shit about Simon Cowell?
Do you remember that movie 2 or so years ago, the Scoob movie?
Yes.
He was in that movie.
You know what's really funny? You just mentioned that. I scrolled down and on Google Knowledge Panel, it's here's some stuff. He was in the One Direction movie, the movie right after that, Scoob. The movie right after that, Scary Movie 3.
Yeah. He just plays himself and always doing the fucking American Idol gag.
Absolutely dreadful.
He was in Shrek 2.
Of course he was. Of course he fucking was. People are like, hey, we need you to we need you to be you, and we'll pay you $600 for it. And he's like, sure.
That's fine.
I don't want to be fucking alive anymore. Okay. Sorry to hear that, Simon. Anyway, can you just say the line in the microphone?
My life is for hire. I truly wish to die.
Please purchase more minutes from me. I would like to live as little as possible.
I was gonna say for his phone, like Virgin Mobile minutes.
Buy me more phone minutes. I've gotten broke. I bought 16 golden statues of myself, and now I'm broke.
But I will not give up the statues.
So, by the way, it just while we're talking about celebrities doing really dumb things with money, did you fucking see that one of the Kardashians took a 3-minute flight to avoid a 40-minute drive?
What?
Yeah. Got on a private jet, up in the air, wheels back down, 3 minutes.
For what?
To go from one place to another, Fee, and not have to drive 40 minutes.
I'm... Okay. Understand, yes. But, like, from, like, their house to... a store?
Here's the store. Yeah, the store with the runway. Although it's LA, who fucking knows? They could be like, oh yeah, this is the Whole Foods with the helipad. You can fucking fly your helicopter here.
Maybe Kim K parachuted. Like, they're like, all right, you're at the spot. And they fucking push her out.
Fucking go pick up In-N-Out. Go, go, go.
So, like, they don't know.
Is, like, I imagine that they had to go from their house to the airport, fly the plane, and then from that airport to wherever they were going to go afterwards. So it's like, I don't know how much time you avoided, but still, just like...
That's a gross waste of fucking money and power.
Yeah, of everything. Like, it if we're talking about the environment,
Yeah.
Damn. Fucking damn, dude. Like... You see things like that and you're like, are the rest of us are really supposed to give a shit about, like, we're all having to use paper straws because of some shit like this? Like, come on, dog. Help us.
Nah. I'm gonna get in my private jet and go down to the fucking the Lowe's market.
Yeah, I could have an electric car that has a driver in it. I could purchase all of the tickets for like a fucking like electric trolley train, right? Like, I could, with my millions of dollars, I could improve public transit so much that I have a station in front of my fucking house and it will take me anywhere that I need to go because I have so much money I can just do that.
Yeah.
But instead, let me just fucking get into my big plane and fly for 3 minutes.
She could probably buy millions of tickets, making people not spend money on, like, the subway for, like, 3 years.
Yes!
And it not affect her.
There's a very real possibility, and this is, okay, so let's say that really she was just trying to avoid this 40-minute drive. It's just a dreadful drive she didn't want to drive. Okay.
She's not driving, she's got a driver.
She has to have a driver, right?
Yeah.
But in addition to that, here's what I'm thinking. It's a cover-up. I'm thinking this is a cover-up.
They went in the air for specifically 3 minutes, and they made sure to let them know, because in the air, like, there's no rules, so they were gonna, like, kill someone.
I think, okay, that's a fucking good one. That's a plot of a movie, by the way. It's called Money Plane.
Yeah.
So that's good. Here's what I think. I think whichever Kardashian this was like, everyone's over at my house and I can't get out of the house and I don't feel comfortable, like, going to going to, like, a public place, but I've really got to take a huge dump. What if I took a shit on my plane? Like, I'll just get in the plane. I'll just fly up north just for like a 3 minute. Like, it doesn't take me that long to poop. I'll just get in the plane. I'll take a dump.
I'll start before they take off.
Yeah, I'll start before they take off. And with any luck, I'll finish before we land. But if we don't, it's going to be awful weird. I hope that there's a seatbelt in the bathroom.
It's fine. They have that bar. I had them install it for that reason.
Yeah, this isn't the first time it's happened. It's just the first time someone's been mad at her for it. She's like, I shit on a plane like 4 times a year. It's weird that this is the first time that you're... Okay, whatever, it's fine.
Are you telling me you have a private jet just for shitting in privacy?
You wait. You don't. You don't have Air Poop 1?
Shit Force 2? Fucking
Air Force Buns?
Delta Turds? Fucking American Ass Lines? Just I can keep going. I'm not gonna fucking.
I just there has to be some other explanation. That way I'm not just mad at this gross use of resources. Like,
I'm telling you, it's the murder. It's the murder. It could be a murder.
Unfortunately, it wasn't one of the people that I wanted to die. So that's really, they're just slighting me at this point.
Now they're just laughing in my face.
Yeah, this is just embarrassing for everyone.
So, getting off that, but keeping on celebrities, unless you have some more to say about this mystery.
No, I'm just let's just put a rubber stamp on it. Fuck them.
Fuck them. I don't like them, never have.
Nope.
And this is a person that you don't like, but it's also something I wrote down about a month ago.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I shared it with the Discord. But here's what it says. Ben Shapiro as next Joker, pay him with bananas.
Pay him with bananas is the... So, listen, I get the first bit, right?
Yeah.
Because Ben Shapiro is like, he's one of those guys that like... the Joker movie, the more recent one, is like becoming like an iconoclast and like killing these Wall Street guys, becoming famous for it, starting a revolution. Like one of those things where it's like... not an anti-hero, but like a negative inspiration for society, right? And that's what Ben Shapiro is. I totally get the link there. Paying him in bananas is where I'm questioning.
Well, like, okay, so they're like, listen, Ben, you can play the Joker, but man, we don't want to pay you or fund you in any way, but we ordered a surplus of bananas that you could have. And they're yours if you want to play the part of the Joker. And he's like, hey, bananas are God's food. They're perfect. They fit in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's Jewish, yes, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. He has the perfect voice range as the Joker, and you already hate him, so
it's true. Yeah, I mean, if he was on the screen, if Batman, God, do you understand how pissed off I would be if there was a whole movie where him and Batman were facing off, and then Batman finally gets him, and then he doesn't fucking kill him at the end of the movie? Do you know how mad I would be?
No, it would be great because he could just beat the shit out of him, just unceremoniously, just fucking put him in a body cast, and then like in the next movie he does it again.
Just again and again, like as soon as he's not even waiting for him to commit a crime anymore. Like Joker walks out of Arkham, and he's walking out of Arkham shitting himself because he knows Batman is within a 1 mile radius, waiting to jump out and beat the shit out of him again. Just he's like, I'll stay in Arkham. I don't want to go out there. And they're like, no, Joker, you got to get out of here. And he's like, oh, I don't fucking want to know.
He's like, Batman, I didn't even commit a crime, but you will fucking beat this.
Fucking, I've foreseen it.
Vengeance.
I talked to Miss Cleo.
I think as unlikable as Ben Shapiro is, perfect Joker. Like his voice already kind of sounds like Heath Ledger Joker. And he has like that shit-eating grin.
Yep. So, the smug sense of like self-satisfaction where like every picture that's taken of Ben Shapiro makes it look like he's looking at you as if he's like, I have already thought of every argument you could throw at me, and I've won all of them. You're so fucking stupid. You should know how dumb you are in my head.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Riddler because I like the guy who played the Riddler. But that's also a good...
He was great,
character.
yeah.
But that's also a good character Ben Shapiro could play, the Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, any of, like, the really hateable kind of shitty Batman villains. Like, you don't want, a clay-faced Ben Shapiro.
No.
You probably don't even want a penguin Ben Shapiro.
No, I was trying to think, but I'm like, no. I like the fucking Robert De Niro what's his name? Who played Penguin?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Always get
Colin Farrell was amazing as Penguin. It was, don't get me wrong. If you're listening, Danny DeVito, I do love you.
No, I do too. I love you, Dan DeVito. You played a fantastic Penguin. But,
but Colin Farrell royally kicked the shit out of you in front of God and everyone, and I do need you to know that.
I want you to know that he put you to shame and your whole family, and I want you to know.
I just have to know, like, listen, just come in here. Mr. DeVito, come in here. I'm going to put my arm around you.
Danny,
say, listen,
Danny, if I will.
You had a great run. All right, listen, we've got, like, the Twins sequel is, like, coming, probably.
Maybe. Throw them out from the train again?
Yeah, we've got, you've got some projects, and, you've got It's Always Sunny. You're always going to have Matilda.
Yeah.
But slowly, all of these characters that you played are being played by other people that are just going to absolutely beat the shit out of you. And so, you may want to consider doing something fucking drastic and cool. Be in the next Avatar. Just be the star of the next Avatar. And
hey,
be like, I found the unobtainium.
I couldn't imagine a Danny DeVito Avatar, a fucking, what are they called? A Navi.
Yeah, the Navi. Hey, Jake, you gotta get on your Banshee.
Jake Sully,
you gotta get the unobtainium.
The army's coming. You gotta get him. Fucking a small, like, short, stout Navi.
Because the Navi, by the way, like, you don't realize it. Like, because in the movie, you could see that there's a height difference.
Yeah, they're like 9 feet tall.
They are. But there's, like, so at Disney, when you go on, like, the Flight of Passage ride, they have a life-size Navi in a fucking water tank, and it's unsettling how big it is. Because, like, they're like, oh, Navi, you're this tall, and you're this tall, and you're like, yeah, I get it, it's fine. But it's different seeing a body there, and you're like, oh, fuck!
Yeah, they're
this man could palm my head like a basketball!
They're like, they're this tall, and you're this big, and you're like, yeah, whatever. No! Go stand by him! Okay.
Go get over there.
I want you to know the difference and how bad they could kill you. Just the fucking.
I need you to feel fear. This is Disney.
Welcome to Disney. Be afraid. Fucking.
Yeah. Danny DeVito Navi is just 6 foot tall, and all the Navi make fun of him. But all the humans are like, oh no, he's fine to me.
Yeah, he's pretty. He's a little above average. Like, but little did they know that Danny DeVito Avatar is like a master ass beater.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny DeVito Avatar. Danny DeVito Avatar single-handedly took down, like, troops of soldiers. He just, like, kicking ass in the forest, guerrilla warfare, fucking coming down and choking people out with vines and shit.
I could see that.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Why not? Staying on the line of celebrities before we move on to different topics, do you know my man Terrance Howard?
Ooh, man, I love this topic. I don't love him. I love this topic, though.
So, Terrance Howard, and when I say Terrance Howard, maybe you know who I'm talking about, but let me paint a picture. He was in Iron Man 1. He was, Rhodes, opposite of Robert Downey Jr. And then he wasn't in any other Marvel property. Sucks for him, but it was his own fault. Because when they pitched Iron Man 2, he said, well, you're going to have to pay me the same as Robert Downey Jr., if not more. And they said, nah, fuck him. And they replaced him with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, they said, listen, here's the thing. I will preface this by saying, like, there's absolutely institutional racism inside of Hollywood that pays black actors less than white actors and women less than men.
That's fair.
However, Rhodey is not a major character in Iron Man 2. He's not, like, on screen for more than 20 minutes. Maximum?
I'd say 30. In the 2-hour movie, 30. Because I think part 2 is when they introduce Iron Patriot. And
yeah, Iron Patriot, yeah.
There was that scene where Rhodes is like, I took your suit and we modified it, and then at the end they have the fight. So I'd say 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, fair.
But he has no spoken lines in most of the scenes.
Yeah, do you know who's in the movie the rest of the time? Robert Downey Jr. is in every scene. He's there doing the fucking work. Like, you don't get paid as much as the guy who is doing all the work in the movie.
That's along the lines of Amy Schumer being like, well, why can't I get paid as much as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle?
I mean,
she's not okay.
So it depends. It depends on what era of Amy Schumer, because
this was when Dave Chappelle put out his first comedy special. And I'm gonna say Dave Chappelle has a history. He has all these good movies. He has a good stand-up. Chris Rock too. Good movies, good stand-up, and they got paid like. I think Chris Rock got like 40 mil, and Dave Chappelle got like 20, maybe 30 mil, and Amy Schumer got 11 mil.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Amy Schumer had already put out another comedy special, and she didn't get... this was her first comedy special, gave her 11 mil, and they were going to pay her like a little bit more for her second one, maybe like 20, whereas Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock were getting paid like 30 and 40. But the difference is no one liked Amy Schumer's stand-up special. And
that's the thing.
And her movies fucking suck.
That's, God, the worst. Okay, so I used to like Amy Schumer. When she, it's embarrassing to admit.
Hot take.
When she came onto the scene, I was like, this is like kind of a fresh take. I like appreciate that this is like a new sort of take on like being a woman, and you know, like there she had like a lot of really good stuff in her show originally. Then the quality of the show started to go down, and then the more that I watched her stand up, the more that it really does seem like what she would do is start telling a joke, and then about 3/4 of the way through be like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna land. I better panic and yell something about my pussy. Oh god. And then that happened every time. So like, originally I was like, oh yeah, this is funny, like self-deprecating, talking about like, you know, like women usually didn't talk about like having a vagina on stage. And I was like, that's a novel thing. And then the second time that I saw it, I was like, is this you? Is this your whole thing? Is just like, I'm the vagina lady now.
She's George Lopezing it.
Yeah, exactly. I would say even less than that, though, because George Lopez tells the same joke for 2 hours at a time for the past like 20 years, right? But he knows how to tell it in a different way every time. And it's interesting to listen to. Amy is not, is the problem. And so like when I hear the same joke come up again, I'm like, oh, it's the same word. Okay. It's the same joke again. Okay. Oh, again, the same one. Okay. Oh, one more of the same one. Okay. Got it. Cool. So yeah, like I used to like Amy Schumer, and so it makes sense that,
cringing.
Okay, cringing. Good. So it makes sense that I, you know, like I see her, and now I'm like, you have like such wasted potential, you know, like because again, you know, I used to enjoy your stand up, and now I don't for sure. Go ahead.
I would say, so here's the thing. Her first stand up, I heard it and I was like, yeah, okay. But then it seems like her only shtick is talking about her slamming guys and fucking like, man, my vagina's huge. It can like envelop a small child, or fucking something about like titties, or like, man, I fucked like like 30 dudes like on my last tour. I'm like, no one even likes to hear guy comics talk about that, like, extendedly. Like, I can't even think of, like, guy comedians outside of, like, just open mic night. People being like, oh, so, man, my fucking penis is so huge, I use them as nunchucks. Or, like, something like that.
Well,
But
the thing is, it would have to be, like, my dick is so small, right?
Yeah,
Or my dick is so thin, right?
that-
Like, which is, again, it's a self-deprecating thing, which, like, easy target, makes sense.
yeah, but don't make that the focal point of your entire set.
Yeah, but if that's it, it's like, because again, for one thing, for like one show, fine. Like if that is your main focal point for an hour and a half show, great. I'm fine with that. The next comedy special that you have, if it's that joke again, I don't need it. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, or
so,
even
like, that's.
but
Whenever she sort of fell out of the limelight, like, because there was a while there where Amy Schumer, just no one heard from her. I was like, great, this is good. You got some time. You can come back later, and things will be better. Like,
Yeah,
I think a lot of it culminated with her at, was it the Emmys?
the Oscars they're after the Will Smith slap.
No. This was before that. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. She fell in front of, I think, Kanye and Kim Kardashian on the red carpet on purpose and pretended to be like hurt, and they both just ignored her and were like, this is awkward, and she didn't know what to do because she was counting on them to like be like, oh, are you okay? And it's the cringest thing I've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that and was like, oh God, Amy, please do something. Please do anything that's not this. And so she fell out of the limelight for a while, and then she came back and she's like, I've got this new movie that's coming out. It's going to be me and Michael Cera. And I was like, okay, all right. And like the first time that I heard her talking about it, she was just talking about it just normal, just like regular. I'm like, I'm an actress. I'm kind of a funny person. Here's like a bit of a joke. I was like, okay, this is great. And then I swear to you, it wasn't but like, it maybe 3 weeks in to like, from having heard about the movie to like, fuck Amy Schumer again.
Yeah.
Because specifically, she was going out and like promoting the movie, and then she mentioned that Michael Cera has like a daughter, and she was like, oh, I don't know if Michael actually wanted me to mention that or not. It's probably fine. And I was like, what in the fuck is wrong with you? like number one, no one knew that before now. And number two, like, don't fucking talk about other people's business. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, she's the worst. Like, I'm reading some of her jokes right now, and I hate them.
Yeah, you know what? Give me your best Amy Schumer joke.
Not mine per se, but like I'm reading.
Yeah, no. Read me an Amy Schumer joke and make it work.
Make it work.
I believe in you, Fee. You can do it.
Wait, do you want me to read her joke first and then?
Yeah. Read her joke.
Okay. Let's see. Let me find it again. She says, I wasn't allowed to say any of that, but you can just come up and slap someone, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. What is this joke?
What is this joke? What I'm imagining is that you have this joke in front of you, and you're reading it, and you're trying to find the punchline, but it's like hieroglyphics. The words keep moving around. You're like, I can't fucking find the joke.
That's probably it. Like, that's how bad it is.
36 words in front of me, and none of them are funny.
Okay, well, let me read this other one from, like, this Amy Schumer reveals the not safe for work joke she wasn't allowed to tell at the Oscars.
Yeah, tell it. Tell it to me, Fee. Give it to me.
So my husband was going down on me, or as he calls it, the Squid Game, she said. Oh, my God. So, he's in my nightmare alley, my house of Gucci, and I say, come on, you know. She continued name-checking some of the past year's award circuit films. He goes, tick, tick, boom. He Belfast. I say, get off my dune, and that's how our son was born.
This is like, okay.
Oh, wait, before you say anything, do you remember that scene, that one cutaway gag in Family Guy, when Peter is held up by that film critic with the big hair?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Where he's holding him up, but all he's saying is fucking puns of movies.
Yep.
That's what this is.
That's what this is. Because this feels very old guard. Like, very much like old stand-up. Like, if Don Rickles were alive today, this is like a fucking Don Rickles level.
This is Gene Shalit. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Gene Shalit.
It's that level where you're like, are we really just gonna do some fucking puns right now? And then you just like, you were like, hey, what if I made puns out of the movie names and then I related it to my vagina again? It's fucking.
Oh,
come
no.
on. I know you're creative. You had a whole TV show and parts of it were pretty good. Try.
Something in her head was like, she has to know what people think of her. But then she was like, okay, I got this joke. But what if I put my vagina in there?
Yep.
What, right?
Okay.
And like they were just like, Amy, no, no, stop.
What if it's actually the other way around? What if it's like it's like the day before the Oscars and she has been trying for a month and a half to write a joke that's not about her vagina and she can't fucking do it. So she's at home. It's 36 hours until the show and she's like, well, I hate to. She looks around. She makes sure that like no one is in the house, and she like creeps into her closet, and she pulls back a coat, and like there's a lever on the wall that she pulls, and then it opens a chamber in the closet that she like descends down, and enshrined in this like beautiful yellow light in this like cobblestone dungeon that she has. It's a small case that says "all reliable," and she fucking opens it very slowly. But, it's a picture of her vagina, and she's like, "Yeah!"
Like the inside, like you know how like it's always like a velvety like lined inside, but it's shaped like her vagina.
She goes, "I see." The answer was in front of me all along,
dude. Okay, so I found the joke that I wanted to say earlier that from her.
Okay,
this is the one she made about Alec Baldwin. She was like,
good.
This was the one that they said that she couldn't say at the Oscars.
Okay.
Don't Look Up is the name of a movie? More like Don't Look Down the Barrel of Alex Baldwin's Shotgun.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck, dude. That's like... man, okay.
Dude, she made that joke on the heels of someone who accidentally died, and it was neither Alex Baldwin's fault or anyone's fault.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong for that to have happened. Alec Baldwin, like, damn. Number one, like, that's the kind of joke that you write, and then you tell your significant other, and you go, I hate that I can't say it, because, man, that's, like, pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's... And then you go, but I can't say it, because I'm not a piece of shit. And then I guarantee you, Amy Schumer's like getting some more public attention. They're like, oh yeah, this new movie's coming out with her and Michael Cera. She's like going out and promoting it. She's doing a great job. People are like coming back around to Amy Schumer again. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting all this attention. Fucking, you know what? You know what you'll love is this joke that I came up with.
This rancid joke.
Just, and she fucking releases this stinker and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, even the people at the Oscars were like, oh no, no, you can't say that. You just can't. Just, please don't. And she was like, "Oh, but I want to." That's along the lines of me making the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh creator joke.
Yeah, it's like worse though.
Yeah,
like it's worse.
See, I'm not a well-known comedian out in front of a bunch of actors, and it wasn't on the heels of someone who accidentally died. It was a tragedy. Like that was like. Not even Alex Baldwin. Like, she put the whole blame in that joke on Alex Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Or Alec Baldwin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
like that would have got her like groaned off stage, or she would have been like, come on.
I just this coupled with Rowan Atkinson saying that every joke has a victim is just like, what the fuck is comedy in 2022? What is wrong with you people?
You can't say a joke unless you're insulting a race or someone.
Yeah, I pulled it up, and his quote is, "It does seem to me that the job of comedy is to offend, or have the potential to offend, and it cannot be drained of that potential. But every joke has a victim. That's the definition of a joke."
That's untrue, though. That's
motherfucker. What?
That is 100% untrue. Like we tell jokes all the time, and it's not.
And they're not like at anyone's expense or anything.
Yeah, like what the fuck? That is just undeniably wrong. Like, I don't know what school of comedy he went to, but that's just beyond wrong.
And he's just, I mean, the whole thing is that he's like, oh, well, comedians can't tell jokes that they want to anymore. And it's like, hey, fucking get over yourself, little baby man.
Yeah, they can. They can tell whatever jokes they want. And it's up to the audience to decide if it's good or not.
Yeah, like more people get to hear your joke and decide if they want to support your art anymore. Isn't that a great thing? Fucking idiot.
That's democracy.
I can't fucking take this. People on Twitter are going to shit on Man vs. Bee. And I can't have that. I made a whole fucking Netflix show about a man fighting a bee.
I was gonna say, yeah, my Man versus Bee. Oh, fucking yeah, Rowan Atkinson, the fucking Mr. Bean. Not Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, baby. We got into this whole tangent because we started talking about Terrance Howard. Terrance Howard is honestly maybe worse. To be honest with you.
Yeah, okay, so Terrance Howard is worse because he believes that he created a whole new geometry and a whole new system of math because aliens, ancient aliens...
Or maybe rediscovered true mathematics.
He was down in fucking Africa just excavating a fucking tomb, and there lied the manuscripts to true math.
Yep. Just like Joseph Smith getting the magic tablets for the Mormon religion. That's Terrance Howard with his magic calculators? I don't know. I don't know what he found.
And he came out of the cave with 2 stone tablets that said 1 times 1 is 2. And
and I'll fucking prove it, is what he said.
And oh my god, have you seen his stupid little diorama? His like squares that he tries to prove that's why like 1 times 1 is 2?
No, I haven't.
Like in that video that you pulled up with him in Africa, he's holding these 2 little plastic things, or you can look up the YouTube video of him on The View, and he has like a diorama, and he's like, this is the missing geometry that I've found and I've come up with, and this is why fucking 2 squared is not 2, it is in fact 1, and 0 is not a number.
I'm reading this quote, and I'm gonna say this to you as if it's not insane.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
If 1 times 1 equals 1, that means that 2 is of no value because 1 times itself has no effect. 1 times 1 equals 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. So what's the square root of 2? Should be 1, but we're told it's 2, and that cannot be. It just can't. It can't be.
You sound insane right now. Like, supposedly he said this to a professor, a mathematician.
Yep.
And they just, I don't know, like, I don't know what the professor did. Like, did the professor was like, oh, that seems to be in order? Or did he laugh him, like, that's what Terrance Howard left out of, like, him saying he's met with the professor. The professor laughed him out of the restaurant they were at. That has to be the case, because that sounds insane.
Mm-hmm.
How?
The thing is, I mean, whenever it's a celebrity that's claiming this, it's so... You're almost more likely to believe them. And here's the reason why. If my friend, like if a guy that I went to high school with, like if Scott comes to me and he goes, dude, fucking discovered new math, dude. Turns out fucking 1 times 1 is actually 2, dude. And then I was like, that's not true. And he's like, dude, fucking talk to a mathematician. Mathematician said, whoa, you're blowing my fucking mind right now, dude. If he said that, I would say, oh, wow. Okay, so you're full of shit and you're just trying to cover yourself, right?
Yeah.
Terrance Howard is like a celebrity and has a bunch of his like stuff documented and has the opportunity to actually meet science people and mathematicians and fucking... He could probably get a meeting with 85% of all people on the planet, which is like crazy.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's possible that he did meet with a mathematician. He's like, yeah. So here's how this works. It's like 1 times 1 is equal to 2, and it's because if you say 1 times 1 equals 1, and then you add 1 on both sides of the equation, because of like the law of commutation, then this all goes to it's 3 equals 2. So that can't be. So 1 times 1 has to equal 2, right? And this fucking mathematician is like, Terrance Howard is talking to me right now, and this is kind of blowing my fucking mind a little bit. I'm like, well, I mean,
he doesn't want to.
That's not really how it works. Like, you know, operations in mathematics sort of like you have to like follow this procedure in order to like do this. Whoa, no. I mean, you're closing your mind off to all the possibilities, and fucking fast forward 45 minutes later, and this mathematician is like, I need to leave. Terrance Howard won't let me. And so he's like, you know what? You've really convinced me. I'm going to go home and think real long and hard about this. Can I please go home and stop being captive in your home, Mr. Howard?
I'll tell all my math buddies about this. Just
yeah, you fucking Terrance Howard just like pulls him in by the collar. You fucking go out there and you tell him what you saw here today.
You tell him that Big Terrance fucking taught you, fucking learned you right. Fucking
yeah, fucking. I'm gonna take down Big Math. You go. You find whoever's at the head of the fucking New World Order that determines what this quote unquote math shit is, and you tell him I'm coming for him,
dude.
I discovered real math because I have a brain.
Yeah, I didn't even get into how universe is touching everything, so numbers don't matter.
Exactly. Listen, like, I'm playing your game right now. I'm playing your little math game, and I'm showing that your math game's rules are real fucking stupid.
Why aren't you listening?
In fact, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take your little math game. I'm gonna fucking flip the table. Bam! Oh wow, there's a whole world around us. You're just ignoring. There's universes and shit colliding with each other every day. Particles are touching other particles, and some shit is happening. You don't even know what's going on because your math can't do it.
Yeah, according to my
Terrance math.
if you were on my math, we'd already know what pi was. It's 4.
Yeah, it is 4. All right. Fucking come to me, talk about math to me,
dude. And now he's got a big commune of people in Uganda on his bullshit because
yes, I read that
he is having like a fucking this TED talk with these Ugandan people. And he's like, we're gonna use hydrogen cells and make the new fucking flight, like new planes and jets. We're gonna turn the aviation world on its fucking head.
I just like...
And people are just sitting there just like, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about. And they're clapping, like slow clap. Then they stand up and fucking ask for an encore.
Yeah, that's like, the thing is... If a celebrity, like, I mean, fucking Leonardo DiCaprio does this. Like, he advocates, him and Matt Damon both, like, advocate for clean water around the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they show up and they're like, hey, I want to talk to the government, and I want to be like, I'm going to give you fucking $58 million so that you can build, like, wells for people.
Yeah.
Right? If this was, like, a similar thing where fucking Elon Musk, too, who's not shitty, he goes to a government and he's like, you know what? hydrogen is actually like a much more reasonable thing to do than electric cars. I want to build like a whole hydrogen car network here in this place, and I'm going to invest this much money. I imagine that a government would be like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And the thing is, hydrogen technology exists. Like Toyota has invented a number of ways in order to like have hydrogen powered cars and buses and shit.
Didn't they have like a whole thing that one year about hydrogen powered cars?
Yeah, this was a while back, and hydrogen just didn't take off in the way that electric cars did, which is kind of a shame, honestly, but whatever. Like, California still has a couple of places where, like, if you have a hydrogen car, you could fill up your hydrogen car in California, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Terrance Howard shows up in Uganda, and he says, y'all, I got hydrogen technology, and I'm gonna blast this whole country into the future with this new hydrogen tech.
We're gonna make.
I want to read you a quote from Mr. Howard.
Okay.
He says to Uganda, I'm imagining
all of it.
all of Uganda. They assembled everyone. Terrance Howard was on. He was on an actual soapbox. It was weird.
Strange.
I've been awarded 96 patents in science and technology. That's how that sentence starts.
That's how he began his grandiose speech.
Mm-hmm. And have discovered a new math. He has to throw that in there. He's just fucking, don't forget where my roots are. I may be talking about hydrogen shit right now, but let's not forget about my new math.
You didn't say that.
He did. He super fucking did.
He did.
That's like imagine if you're having like this big symposium about great actors of our era, and fucking Will Smith is up there and he's like, y'all don't forget that I'm a rapper too. Did y'all listen to Big Willie style, all right?
Didn't y'all hear Parents Don't Understand? Right now, you're the parents.
Fucking masterpiece that was. Damn, I'm good.
It's my favorite. Like,
my purpose and mission is to bring balance to our planet by restoring a safe place for the animal kingdom to thrive, and to bring mankind into a new era of truth, love, and consciousness. Thank you for allowing to meet us. I want to develop a new hydrogen technology in Uganda. The main purpose of the project would be to defend the sovereignty of the country as far as technology is concerned.
No.
Okay.
Well, man, he took getting fired from the MCU real fucking personal.
He did. I mean, but the thing is, it's not just that, because like after that he did that show Hustle and Flow, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, after he got fired from Iron Man, like, he's just like, oh, he became the fucking villain he sought to defend the world from. Because he was like, oh, you'll see. I'm on the brink of this new math, and y'all ain't gonna be on the forefront.
Listen, fucking people are gonna look back on me in 100 years, and they're gonna say, he's ahead of his time. We're just now rediscovering Terrance Howard's math.
Y'all will be begging me. It
was Empire. That's what it was. Empire is what he was in. Which, like, again, people love Empire. So, like, he's not, he's not out there shitting himself and living under a bridge and being like, I've discovered a new math. He's working. People are working with this man.
He's basically like Scientology, except no one likes it.
Yes, that's exactly it. He's like, hey guys, I got this great idea,
and they're like, okay.
Everyone is like, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. You want to come work in my movie?
Everyone's like, all right, Terrance, now come and say your lines. Just fucking. He's basically pulling the hot shots of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's right.
He's around a lot of people that didn't tell him no. And then just said, yeah, you should go and fucking pitch this idea. And he did. And everyone shit on it, but he still thinks it's a good idea.
Here's the thing. He's finding an audience, right? Like,
yes!
I refuse to believe that the people of Uganda are listening to this man and going like, oh yeah, I'm going to accept this man's new math.
Okay.
What they're probably saying is, Terrance Howard wants to like come here and spend a bunch of money to like hire scientists and buy equipment and fucking he's gonna pump a bunch of money into our economy.
Yes.
Let him be crazy publicly for a while. It's fine.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, these people. I'm not trying to say Ugandan people don't know any better, but they probably see this wealthy American spouting nonsense, but is gonna pump money into their economy and probably make like a couple of like wherever he's located at like better for it. He's probably gonna like get them like water and shit. Like he's doing good while simultaneously being an asshat.
I just it's very funny to me.
It's hilarious.
It's very funny to me that like he's decided that he's made this new math, which is one of those things like because you can invent a new language, like that's not hard. You can't just invent new math.
Yeah, you can't just say the old math isn't good. Which
like people like to say like, oh yeah, fucking Common Core is not like. It's because they're dumb. They don't know how Common Core works, so like it's fine, whatever. But
yeah, you can.
That's not new math. It's new procedures on the same math. This is new math.
Yeah, this is all.
Numbers mean different shit in this math system.
In this math, like a bunch of shit that normally works would not work. Like fucking, if you're trying to like measure shit for like houses and stuff, or like trying to find like square roots or like dimensions, it just would be very off. It would be very wrong. Like, and speaking of. In his new math, like Howard finding like diameters or like finding like just square roots, just different. Because 1 times anything in his math is just like addition. So 1 time 2 is 3, 1 times 3 is 4, 1 times 5 is 6, infinity. Add infinity. So like that means that just proportions would be off. Everything is wrong in his math. The whole infrastructure that we live in would have to be redone.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, you're the Kardashians. Your duty plane needs a new hangar, right?
Yeah.
And so you hire a company to build this new hangar, and then you come out at the end of the project. You're like, this new hangar looks great. Why do we have 487 bags of extra concrete? And they go, well, we ended up buying too many. And you're like, I understand that you bought too many. How did you buy 400 too many? And they go, well, you see, I did the math, and the math says that this is right. This is the correct amount, but I guess we just didn't need as much. And then you find out that your project manager is a Terrance Howard math man, and you go, oh, that's what's happening here.
You didn't
got it.
You didn't rate the fine print or our tagline of we're the company that uses the TH math, and as you should know, TH stands for Terrance Howard math.
Exactly. And you know what? Why did you think on our website it said wholly endorsed by Terrance Howard? Like, that wasn't just a good review for the work that we do. He really believes in the work that we're doing out here.
Yeah, he taught us what we thought we've been knowing this whole time. He taught me my fucking place. We only the THM in this household.
That's right. That is right.
So, like, you can go to school, like, now, because Terrance Howard math is a household name. So now, like, when you go to school, you can opt into just boring-ass regular math, or you can fucking live in the future for the Terrance Howard math. You can
Correct.
You can become a major of Terrance Howard math. And
you could go on to go to, to go to a bunch of countries that want you to spend a bunch of money and make a bunch of speeches and look like an ass to the whole world. It's great.
Look, here's the only stipulation to learning Terrance Howard math. You have to be a millionaire. You have to have an expendable budget of...
Yeah, it's just like Scientology.
Exactly. The more like your head is up your ass, the further it's in there, like the more you'll understand Terrance Howard math.
Yeah. I mean... It only makes more sense the deeper that you get into it.
God, he's such a fucking joke. I'm glad he's not in the MCU, Because if he was in
Yeah.
the MCU, he'd have more of a platform to spit.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm also glad that Terrance Howard is not in the MCU. There are a couple of other people that I'm like, I don't really want you in the MCU either. Like fucking Gwyneth Paltrow and the woman who plays Shuri. I forgot what. What the actress's name is. But she's like an anti-vaxxer now, and
she's not in anymore. I think they took her out.
Thank fucking God! I guess I was all in. I was like, yeah, like it makes sense for fucking T'Challa's sister to like be the next Black Panther. Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes total sense.
You know who I wanted to be? I wanted it to be that big guy, the one that he.
Yeah.
Then we can have a big beefy panther.
Oh, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sick as fuck.
Right. And it's not even because he's a guy. It's just because he is a good actor. He made me laugh.
He was very funny. he was one of my favorite parts of Black Panther.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I heard that was like maybe the case. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And then as soon as they were like, oh, she's like an anti-vaxxer and like can't fly into other countries because she refused to get vaccinated, and like I was like, and then she like started conspiracy theory stuff, and I'm like, oh no, you should.
She only did that because she got the platform. She became Shuri, and once the movie was a fucking hit, and she was like an Endgame or whatever the other movie she was in, she was like, now's my time to shine. Here's my bullshit. And she thought she thought she was like already in deep in the movies, like deeply ingrained that they wouldn't do anything, but like little does she know that she's like a side character of a side character. Like,
oh no,
what?
She's not gone.
No, I thought they took her off. I swear I read it.
I'm looking at a news article from 2 weeks ago. See Letitia Wright's new costume for Black Panther 2. Motherfucker.
I don't think they're gonna do another Black Panther movie after this one then. Because I guess this was already like in her contract. She maybe have signed a contract. That has to be the case. They didn't just buy her out of the contract. They probably were like, yeah, I guess this makes sense. I guess we'll do this. And God, you know what? I hope they write a line in there about her being like pro-vax, so she's like pissed off about it.
That would be great if she's like, why wouldn't I take a vaccine? That just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, they're like, hey, before you come to America from Wakanda, we take this vaccine. And she's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll do that. That's easy. A little wink to the camera. And then like the whole time, like she's like, I hate these guys. Just
man, okay. I'm looking. So now I'm like, number one, there was a thing where because the title of this article says Letitia Wright nearly died in Marvel Black Panther 2 accident, which is great. But I'm reading here. I'm going down this list, and Letitia Wright anti-vax claims blown out of proportion. Let's see. Yeah. Says it was never a big deal on set, and that a lot of the Black Panther 2 working for Marvel was actually also anti-vax and not vaccinated, so it wasn't a big deal. Oh no.
It's all bad. It's all bad. Throw it away.
Oh no. I thought it was gonna be like I really thought it was gonna be like, no, she like said some stuff, but like she came around.
She came around
picking up on it or whatever, right? Like that's what I was imagining, but no, they're like, no, she's anti-vax. She just was also surrounded by shitheads, so it wasn't that big a deal.
They made it sound not bad, but they were like, yeah, no, it's fine. Everyone sucks here. Just dude. Speaking of sucks, the new Thor movie came out, and everyone said it sucked.
Man, that's crazy because like. The last one, like Ragnarok, was directed by the same guy.
Yeah, I hate Taika Waititi. Sorry.
What? I love him.
Nope, hate him.
He's great.
You know why I didn't like Ragnarok?
Why?
Because it stole and wrote off the coattails of an already established Hulk. They took a whole Incredible Hulk storyline and turned it into a Thor movie, and they shit on the original storyline of the Hulk.
Oh man, it's almost as if it's an MCU movie, right?
See,
it's
no,
it's almost as if
listen.
this has been happening in all of the MCU this whole time.
Listen, Kobe, you have to know that I'm a giant Hulk fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. You're a Hulk simp.
They turned all the cool stuff I liked about because this was the World Breaker Hulk storyline.
Mm-hmm.
They turned it into a fucking mockery.
Yep.
And they made Thor into the asshat from the Ghostbusters girl movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that.
I mean, that's pretty much who Thor evolved into by the time the movie was already like there, right? Like
it would have been fine if they wrote the jokes and maybe like everything. But most of their lines are ad-libbed, and they're just like, just remember to sprinkle in these little lines, but also ad-lib all your lines. Ragnarok is a little bit more fine, but then in Thor Love and Thunder, everyone's like, there is no time to breathe between the jokes. There is no time to take in anything. It's just joke. Every line is joke, 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 joke. Bad joke, bad joke, joke, bad joke. And then serious with Christian Bale, who I heard was like the saving grace of the movie, who's only in like 10 minutes of the movie.
Fee, you haven't even seen this movie. You can't criticize it because you don't know shit about it.
I'm not criticizing. I'm telling you.
Fee, you're talking about what is wrong with the movie you haven't seen.
No, I'm telling you, this is what I've read online by a lot of people who've, and if you even go to Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's got a low audience and critic score from Rotten Tomatoes, and they're all saying the same thing.
I'm gonna go take a look at this. See, let's take a look. Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, 67 from reviewers, critics, and 78 from audience. So definitely like lower on the list than other Marvel movies for sure, but definitely not bad.
Maybe just me. Let's see. Taika Waititi seems to think he can carry us through a ludicrous story on the strength of a performant comedian confidence alone, but it's just too transparent. I'm reading bad reviews, by the way.
I can tell.
It seems to be trying hard and only succeeding part of the time. It could be Waititi is just getting tired. The egregious storyline given to Natalie Portman, Dr. Jane Foster, and Thor Love and Thunder, latest example of the MCU doing heroin so wrong.
I mean, the thing is, we can talk about this, but like neither of us have seen it, so we can't give like any amount of perspective on why this is good or bad. We can only refer to other people's opinions.
So the reason I will probably, when I watch it, and I will when it comes to Disney Plus, because I'm not going to pay money for it and hate it, is because I hated Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like so drastic, like change of pace. Like nothing was serious, everything was a joke. Even the like fucking what's it called? Asgard getting destroyed was just Thor looking at Asgard and be like, huh, that like fucking he made a quip and a joke and was like, oh well, and like walks away like nothing happened. Mm-hmm. Like everything was a joke. Mjolnir breaking, yeah, he was sad about it, but then it was just jokes. And like Hela, the main character of fucking Ragnarok, was so underutilized, and they fucking hyped her up to be such a badass. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a shame. Like, and Christian Bale is the main reason why I want to see Love and Thunder, because he looks so good, and he does. He looks so fucking sick. I'm like, okay, they wrote like a fucking good story and everything. But no, I keep hearing that it's just fast-paced jokes with like action that breaks in between sometimes, and the jokes most of the time don't land. Like, and it's not just from stuff that I'm reading, it's like from people that I've seen like reviewed online, and I'm like seeing like reviews on like both sides, not my just normal reviewers. Mm-hmm. Like I'm watching like people I'm unsub to like reviewing it, and most of the time they'll be like, oh, you know, it was good, I thought it was funny, but it was too many jokes and not enough like slow down.
Sure.
And they're also like sometimes they're like because the thing in the world, they're trying to get to the center of the universe, to this place that grants whoever gets there first, like it grants them a wish. And they're like, if this was like true, why didn't Thanos like go there instead of getting the Infinity Gauntlet? And I think the director came out, or someone came out and were like, oh, because we didn't, this has to be the case. Oh, because we didn't think about it at that time when we were writing that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good excuse.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. Whenever you see it, come back in here and you can be like, yeah, let's talk about this movie that I fucking hate, because you also hate Thor Ragnarok and everybody disagrees with you. Like that. I'm looking at the reviews right now. 93% from critics, 87% from the audience. I
have my own reasons why I hate Thor Ragnarok, and it has most to do with I wish it was a Hulk movie instead, and not ad-libbed. And I wish fucking Jeff whatever his name is wasn't the Red King, because all those characters are supposed to be badass and menacing and like good or bad. And they're just jokes now.
And having a new thing doesn't ruin the original thing.
I didn't say it ruined the original thing.
You did.
No.
No.
It didn't ruin. It doesn't ruin the original thing, because I love the original thing. But it's kind of along the lines of, you want to see these original thing like come to life and see them be badass, not just like I'm a rock and I like to beat people up and blah blah blah. That's not how he was in the comic. And I'm not saying it has to be.
Who gives a shit, Fee?
I'm not saying he has to be 1-to-1, but I want to see him be a badass, not a fucking comic sidekick.
Yeah, well, things are different in different places, and it's fine.
But that's why I don't like Ragnarok, because that storyline was supposed to make Hulk into a big badass, and instead he's just a big sad ass.
Oh man,
what
likes a sad ass Hulk?
You know what else I hate? Fucking Resident Evil. Now that we're on this fucking wavelength.
Yeah, now that we're here, now that we're an hour and a half in, and we're getting to the topic that you actually wanted to talk about this podcast.
Listen, just give me like 5 or so minutes to tell you everything that I tell
me about this show. I dare you.
Okay, so spoilers. I don't know if you want to be spoiled or you're gonna watch this show.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm never gonna watch Resident Evil. Like, okay. I don't give a shit. Resident Evil is not a property I have ever given any amount of shits about.
Resident Evil is a property that I give all my shits about. You know that I love the lore of Resident Evil.
I do know that.
I suck at the games, but I love the lore.
Okay.
So,
fair enough. Yeah, I did watch you play Resident Evil, and you were... So, for as much as you love Resident Evil, you were very scared.
It's very scary when you're actually in the fucking driver's seat doing it. But
okay.
when you're not when you're watching someone, you're just like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. But then when you're fucking doing it, you're like, oh, your anxiety gets into your head. You're like, oh god, I'm not as good.
Oh, where's Mr. X?
It scared me. It did scare me a lot.
So tell me about the show, Fee.
So it takes place in 2022, while simultaneously taking place in 2036. Oh, this is a 2-storyline show.
Yeah,
and
what?
Yeah, 8 episodes. It'll jump between 2022 pre-apocalypse and 2036 after the apocalypse. And let's just say that the apocalypse never happened in the games. And it never was like alluding to an apocalypse. And the main character is Albert Wesker. No, he's not the main character. He is the side character.
Okay.
The main character are his daughters. Specifically one.
Okay.
So, you know Albert Wesker.
Yeah.
A tall, beefy white guy with, like, the blondest hair you've ever seen. and he wears sunglasses.
He looks like a total fuckboy, and I hate him.
Yes, and this
Rightfully
is
so.
okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to hate him.
Yeah, you're supposed to hate him, but also just like laugh at him. But here, okay. So before I get into more in the synopsis, people said, and Lance Reddick plays him, who is a very, very black man, a bald black man, so the opposite of Chris Redfield, or I'm sorry, of Albert Wesker.
I was about to say, I mean, he is the opposite of both. That's fine.
Yeah, he's the opposite of both. He is not physically fit like Chris Albert Wesker. Here's a person, like a fan casting. Mm-hmm. The guy who played Homelander from The Boys.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I will say I don't give a fuck. Okay. Every opinion that I'm going to have, like, I don't give a shit about the series, but, like, fucking whatever. Let him
Well, no, that's not the thing. I say that guy because he's already blonde. You already kind of hate him because he's a hated character in fucking The Boys. He plays a good villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, all of that is true, but like,
and he has a shit-eating grin that, like, I'm sure Albert Wesker gets.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, that's the important one. Blonde hair, I don't give a fuck. Like, anyone can play any character.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Like, the fact that he's blonde isn't important to his character. The fact that he's white isn't important to his character.
No, but he's a smug asshole that you hate. And here's another aspect of Albert Wesker's character. He wants a master race of human beings and wants to kill, like, commit genocide and have a master race of human beings and have world domination. He's one of those cheesy villains. Now that
I will say, his idea of master race is not like white people. It's just human. It's human zombie hybrids.
It's like human weaponized zombie virus hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
imagine if like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you get stabbed by the stand arrow, right? And like you either get a power or you die. Imagine it's that, except it's way less likely that you get a power, and way more likely that instead of dying, you'll turn into a zombie.
Yeah. So I'm explaining for the case of the show. He's very powerful. Like, he has like matrix moves. He can catch missiles in his hands. He can get impaled. Like, he's very durable. He's very strong.
Yep.
And not a one time in the whole entire game series has he used clones.
Mm-hmm.
And he died in part 5. Like, died. He not just, did he die? No, he died.
Okay.
So I want you to remember, like, this Saturday morning cartoon supervillain that Albert Wesker is.
Okay.
Now throw that away because he's not in this show.
Okay.
Wesker. The Albert Wesker we get in this show is a middle-aged kind of dad bod physique. You know, he's not fit, but he's not fat. Mm-hmm. He's not over the top evil. Hell, he's not even like he's a Karen type evil, because there's one scene where he's in the principal office with his daughter who got accused of assaulting this girl, and he was just like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Albert Wesker. What do you do in your job?" And he's like, "I'm like an accountant or whatever." He's like, "How many people can do your job? Like thousands?" And he's like, "Yeah, only I can do my job. So you're gonna make this disappear, or else you're gonna, lose your job." And then, that cleared it up. That's the one time he was kind of smug and smarmy.
Yeah, that I was about to say. You're giving this as like an example of non-Wesker behavior.
No,
that sounds like the most Wesker fucking behavior I've ever heard.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's the one time he does it. In all 8 episodes that he's in, that is the one time he does it. And you want to know what? He's not even the real Wesker. Baba! Curtain!
Ba-ba-bum!
He's a clone the whole time.
Oh, no.
Because the real Albert Wesker had 3 clones in a basement making... They don't even explain what they're making. They're just making shit, and then Umbrella invades.
They're just making shit.
They're just in there making shit.
Making pudding and cake.
And Albert Wesker periodically peers in, and this is where you get the Lance Reddick looking like Blade fucking Albert Wesker already looks silly in that outfit, but Lance Reddick as Albert Wesker looks sillier in that outfit.
Yeah.
Coming in and it's like, oh, are y'all almost done? And then Umbrella comes in and first of all, only like 2 or 3 Umbrella soldiers and Evelyn Muniz, I think, or whatever, the head of Umbrella, which is the great-granddaughter of the guy who owned the Umbrella back in the day, came in and like invaded his lab and caused him to run away. First of all, Wesker probably could have killed all of them without even breaking a sweat. But
yeah, I mean, I guess let's clarify: is his power set in the show similar to what it is in the game? Right? Like,
because they says it follows the canon. They even mentioned that he died in a volcano. So, and he's wearing the Resident Evil 5 outfit. So at this point, he is possibly.
So he's like super powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. And they show him doing like a little super speed and stuff. So this is already like post Resident Evil 4, pre Resident Evil 5 Wesker.
Okay.
And even before that, he had his powers. Like in Code Veronica, he did.
He sure did.
He could have taken out those guards and not run away and kept his clones, but he ran away like a bitch, which is not Wesker behavior. I dare
to be
say.
fair, Wesker behavior is like basically trying to take what's his and kind of failing at it, but failing up. But I imagine that he would be like, "No, you can't take my clones. I'm gonna fight you," and then he gets shot a lot, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna slink down the drain now. You're not gonna take," and then he turns into zombie goop and fucking goes away. That's Wesker behavior.
That is Wesker behavior. He probably would have taken out a lot of the guards before killing the clones and like packing and burning the place down. And then like slinking off with his tail between his legs.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. He left the clones, all of his fucking research, everything, and Evelyn, also one of the second main antagonists, is like, well, y'all guys are Albert Wesker, and y'all are clones, so y'all can work for me. And they do. And one of the there are 2 clones. One goes by just full Albert Wesker, and the other one is named Bert. And she, for whatever reason, puts Bert in a jail for 10 years until 2022, or like 17 years, I'm sorry. And then other Albert, she lets him just fucking live his life and have kids.
What?
Yeah. And it's not until later in the show where they throw Albert Wesker in a jail does he, figure out his brother's still alive. They call each other brothers, by the way. And, then he comes... Oh, and there's a big Olive Garden fucking... Basically like Sonic the movie. Where, he escapes the jail and he finds the girls and they're like, "Dad?" And he's like, "Yep, I'm your dad." And they go into an Olive Garden. He's like, "Can you believe it? Unlimited breadsticks?" And I swear to God, there's like 3 minutes of him talking about unlimited breadsticks and being like, "Oh, for a place called Olive Garden, there's no olives here." And I can't tell you how much I cringed out of my soul.
I cannot. You are really? So my man Albert Wesker, he's not integrated into society. Yeah. And he comes out and he goes, "Man, the best thing about society is these fucking breadsticks, baby." He's not like no smartphones, no. He broke out of technology.
He broke out of jail and like caught his. He knew about his daughters because the other Albert told him about them, and he's just like, "Well, I'll just take his place since he's not here right now."
Hey, says, "Fuck it."
Yeah, and they go to Olive Garden. So that's just the Albert. Like I'm trying to paint you the picture of how this Albert is. He is not like cunning, except for like a few scenes where he's just cunning randomly. but like for the most part, he's just like a good guy. He's a family man. But the characters that you have to root for, are his daughters, Jade and Billy, who are half twins because they were born from surrogate mothers, from Albert Wesker's DNA, but two different moms, but they're still related through their dad. And they were born at the same time. The twins
bit is weird, but okay.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very weird. So you have Jade, the African American girl, and Billy. I want to say she's not white. She has to be some kind of Hispanic. Okay. And Jade is the worst. She talks shit to Wesker all the time. She calls him dad, but she talks to him like he's just beneath her. And then Billy, who I guess when she was younger, she was like, I used to be a psycho. Remember when I broke that kid's leg in fucking elementary school? And you're just like, what the fuck? But then she's also a pushover, and she's a vegan now, and she's like, I don't want to be the psycho like I was back then. And she gets bullied by this like one girl who's just like over the top evil, where she, they're in their new school in I hate saying it, Umbrella, like Umbrella Suburbs, Umbrella City, and it's in South Africa. Not South Africa. It's in like North. It's part of Africa.
Okay, so is this the same place that Resident Evil 5 was it? Is that the same place that takes place?
No, I'm sorry, it's Raccoon City. It's New Raccoon City.
New Raccoon City. Why would you go back? Why would you go back?
No, why indeed? Why would anyone believe that Umbrella's a good company if they said that this game is in the established lore of they're not making it canon to the games, but they're saying it's following the canons? Why would anyone trust Umbrella to do anything? Because Umbrella at that point was their name was tarnished. They had like gone to Tricell. That name was tarnished. They were just basically black arms scientists and gun dealers at that point. So why would anyone just be like, Umbrella, huh? Oh yeah. Yeah, like no one knows, like why anyone in the world would be like, this is a good idea, and like let them make a new suburb city in Africa of all places.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Is it possible that Umbrella showed up and they said, and
they pulled a Terrance Howard?
Yeah, they showed up and they said, we invented new math. I have 97 patents. Do you want to build a snowman? Right, like
yeah, no.
I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, they're probably evil, but like they got money.
See, but they didn't. They even make it a point to say out, Jade's like, for being in Africa, there's like no black people here, and it's a gated community.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that's maybe they bought the land from like just some guy. So like not even all of like wherever they are in Africa gets to prosper. So again, it doesn't make like it's stupid when you think about it. But anyway, and everything is just like really weird and white inside of like this New Raccoon City. All the buildings are white, all the clothes are white, everything's just white, and it's like bad. But here's how you can tell, like, Jade is just like shitting on everything, and she's like, I hate it here, I hate everything, I hate that dad is working, blah blah blah, and she's always getting people into trouble. And when she moves into the new house, like, the realtor's like, hey, you're gonna have a good time here, and there's a lot of kids, and she's like, this is a line that they wrote, I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't.
This is a line they wrote.
Give me this line. Feed me this line, Pete.
She's like, oh, I mostly keep to myself and read Zootopia porn. That's the line.
What?
Yeah, she said this. It's in the first episode. In the first, 15 minutes. Her big zinger to that lady was, to put her off of, keep talking to her is oh, I'm a loner and I read Zootopia porn.
How old is this character?
She is in high school, so presumably...
Okay, so listen, as a fucking 14-year-old edgelord, I could see that being a thing that someone would say.
I would say...
It's not a thing that I would say, because I am too rule-followy, and the fact, to tell someone, oh yeah, do you know me? I'm real big into fucking Final Fantasy VII fanfics. You know it. Specifically the ones with Cloud in a dress. Big fan. You know that.
I like to imagine Cloud in his thick badonkadonk just fucking...
I can't even finish that sentence. Oh, it's too hot.
Just, can you leave the room, please? So, yeah, she's just a not likable character. She's always talking shit to Wesker, and Wesker's you could see, the defeat in his face. But then again, this isn't, Albert Wesker, this is Clone Wesker. Mm-hmm. And then, Billy with her fucking, she has, her anxiety, and then, the first day, Jade won't even sit with her sister. Jade hits it off, I guess, with friends, some people, and they invite her to, their table. And, she doesn't invite Billy. So Billy ends up sitting by herself, and she's a vegan. So here comes the weirdest part. She's getting bullied by this one girl. Over the top, 80s bullying.
Okay. So
this one girl, you're just whatever. You see her, going up to, another table and, can I sit here? And, they're ew, no, go away. And, she's oh, okay. So you'd think, oh, they're gonna become friends. So then she comes and sit next to Billy, and she's hey, I'm a vegan, and maybe we can be friends. I saw those girls, what they did to you. And then she's nah, I'm a meat eater. Me and my dad went hunting, and we killed Bambi's mom. And then she fucking pushes her on the floor and starts fighting. And it may seem like I made that accent up, but she kind of sounds like that, a very kind of cholo-esque girl voice.
ASA, I fucking killed Bambi's mom. What you gonna do about it, eh?
And then she tackles her.
I
fight. And then the next day, Billy, being the bigger girl she is, she's hey, I forgive you, man. Let's be cool. And this girl's eating a burrito, the size of the burrito that you were probably eating from the Indian food.
Hell yeah.
And shoves it in her face and flips her off and walks away. Mm-hmm. And then, fucking Billy's, doesn't retaliate. She just storms off, but Jade was there, and she saw what happened. So...
And then Billy pulls her arm off. Crazy shit. It's just there's a twist, and all of a sudden, fucking, it's just fights all over the place. Fucking arms getting removed, zombies showing up, crazy.
That would have been fine. But instead, Jade gets the school mascot, head, follows Jade to a bathroom and bashes her head in with a rock. Not killing her, just assaulting her with a rock. To get back at her for fucking with Billy. And that's what you think. You're okay, yeah, that girl deserved it. But she puts the evidence in Billy's locker for them to find and accuse Billy of doing it. Mm-hmm. And you're what the fuck? Why would you do that?
Yeah, what is the point?
And it never got answered. And Billy is mad at her for reasonable things, and Jade's man, you still mad about that? She's never punished for it. Basically. But then we jump back to 2036, and Jade's by herself in England, and she's studying the zombies. Because she's a scientist now and a brain surgeon. Don't know how that happened because it's established that she's not good at school in the past, and the apocalypse happened soon after that because at the end of the show she gets chased from New Raccoon City. So when she found out how to become a scientist and a brain surgeon is beyond me. And she has a kid, but it's never established with who. The thing I don't like about the future is Jade is constantly getting fucked up all the time. But it doesn't slow her down. Like the first episode, she's getting chased by zombies. She takes out the horde by herself, and then a huge zombie caterpillar comes up and picks her up by her feet and slams her into a car, and it kind of like knocks her out. And she's like, "Oh fuck!" Mm-hmm. But then like these guys come and shoot the caterpillar to death because it couldn't eat her just right there and then. It had to like look at her and was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna eat this girl."
Well, it smelled the Wesker on her, and it was like, this may be a bad idea. I'm going to eat this Wesker, and I'm going to get a tummy ache.
Yeah. So, like, nothing's wrong with her. Like, they save her, and, like, they take her, and, like, nothing's wrong with her. But those guys betray her because she has a mark on her head from Umbrella. And, you know, they take her to their compound, and then Umbrella comes and kills everyone at the compound besides her. And one of my favorite characters in the show, I think his name is like Billy or something. It starts with a B, and he's like this rotund man with a beard who's always eating something. Everything's on screen. Like he's eating a bag of chips, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think we'd find you, right?" And he's fucking tripped. Like he stumbles, and he's like, "But we did." And then, like, they have her in a corner, and then she jumps off this 2-story building into a horde of zombies on top of a van. And it's like, oh, fuck, that kind of hurt, but gets away anyway.
She's a Wesker, that's the thing.
She doesn't have powers. Like
she's a Palpatine. It's it all flows.
And that's how the show is. Jade gets into trouble, like, gets her shit kicked in, and then runs away, and someone dies. But not her. Fucking,
not her, no. Never consequences for the Jade.
And then my favorite character is killed, like the fat guy who's funny. They show him in this episode that he dies, which I don't know where they're at this point because they run into a bunch of like Spaniards. And,
ooh, exotic.
And, yeah, I know. Like, well, because they have like thick Mexican accents, like they're fucking Mexican. But that's not.
But you're assuming they're Spaniard.
Well, because like it doesn't. I can't tell they're in Mexico. They were just in England, and they like it was established that they were still in England when those guys took her to the compound. They show this big guy kicking a bunch of zombies' asses with like his bare hand and a gun, being a badass. And like it's funny because he's like he kills all the like zombies in this hall, and he's like, "Jay, did you see that?" He's like kind of like, "Oh man, I didn't intend to do that, but I did it." Like kind of like, "Oh, when like a kid does a kickflip, did you see that, Dad?"
Dude, did you see? Fucking you didn't see?
Yeah, so like he does that, and I'm just like, okay, I like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene, he fucking dies because he can't get up to the ladder, and Jade having like broken ribs and everything, jumps from wall to wall and catches the ladder and climbs out, and the bumbling fool he is, can't get out because he needs to die, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately when she gets out of that compound, she's captured again by Umbrella.
Man, I'm just saying, Fee. What if she's got that Wesky blood up inside of her? What if she's like? So what if that's the plot? Is like, you know, he's got these two daughters or whatever, and they're like science experiments, and fucking one of them's got the Wesky blood up in her, and she's incredibly durable. She could jump and do a whole bunch of shit that she shouldn't be able to do, and the reason why she's such a fuck up is because like she doesn't know that she could do that.
See,
and,
but
like,
the thing is, like, it doesn't show her doing that. It just shows her getting her ass kicked all the time. And then if anyone got the Wesky blood, it was Billy because she's immune to the virus slightly. Because she gets bitten, like, on the second episode being a dumbass.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you're taking issue with something that what if there's like an in-universe explanation for? What if there's like, you know, it's fucking Metal Gear Solid, like it's Les Enfants Terribles all over again. Fucking, she's got the recessive Wesker genes.
As much as I'd like to believe that, I can't believe that just because of how I've seen everything play out. You know what I mean? Like they don't show her like doing all this stuff and she's like, oh man, like I somehow survived that. No, she's just like, oh, barely made it out with the skin of my teeth and having all the minor characters that aren't explained die on the way.
Yeah.
Fucking, and then like the way Billy gets bitten because Billy's the antagonist because she's now evil for some reason. Mm-hmm. And she controls.
Had to be one of them.
She controls Evelyn, the Umbrella like CEO, with with an iPad and brain electrodes, I guess.
Okay.
But they don't explain how they do it, like how that happened. She makes Evelyn dance to like a Doja Cat song and have like this choreographed dance scene to reveal that Billy was the bad guy all along.
Man, why? Okay, what is it with fucking... So listen, Umbrella Academy had a fucking dance scene in the last season. Not season 3, because I haven't seen season 3, but season 2. They had a dance scene that was like, to me, kind of out of place, but it was like fun. It was like a fun thing that was happening. Since then, I feel like a lot of shows are like, we're going to have a fucking dance scene. It fucking happened in Morbius. It happens here.
God, yeah.
Stop it. I don't need it.
It was so out of place when it happened. I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, it's pretty neat, right? I can control her on this iPad. And I'm like, how though? She's still...
Yeah, and there's so many things that come up as a result of that. Like, what does the interface look like? Do you, like, type in a command? Is it possible to monkey paw this? Right?
It doesn't even show her typing it. It looks like she's just pressing a few buttons. So to me, there's a button on that iPad that says, like, a dance button.
Dance to Doja Cat.
Yeah, Doja Cat dance. Because she's, like, pantomiming singing the song while dancing. Mm-hmm. But we hear the music. They can't hear the music. So,
yeah, and so she's just dancing.
Yeah,
she's like her body's just grooving to this fucking song, but her brain can't hear it. Maybe maybe that's what it is. Maybe the things are being like transmitted into her brain, so there's no sound, but the music is in the brain. You know what I mean? Like,
so here's the thing: she's conscious. She knows she's being controlled because when you know Billy puts her in like I guess sleep mode, quote unquote. You know, when she, like, kind of, like, slumps there, she's just like, is this how you thought, you know, it would happen and blah, 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 and, you know, what are you gonna do now that I'm not here? And she's just like, hey, bunch of zombies are coming, so you might die. And they never show her again. Like, they don't, like, show what happened. And Billy escapes, like, this horde of zombies. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, what are you gonna do now? She's the CEO, you're nobody.
Yeah. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
I guess like
there
goes your fucking neat trick.
I'm not even excited to see what happens next. I'm like, why would you even keep her in the show if y'all were just gonna kill her? And also, it's the apocalypse, yet there's somehow still news and like radio waves because Jade's always FaceTiming with her daughter and husband. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, but that can't be. There's an apocalypse. Why would the news still be a thing? And
well, you know, it's just people got to be informed. People got to get news out there.
And like they try to blackmail Umbrella. They're like, you're gonna give us Jade. You know, we're gonna kill all your people. And the guy on the boat's like, yeah, well, we got a bunch of shit on you. And if you fucking want all of us and Jade, we're gonna release it to the news. It's the apocalypse. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. I guess, is the news one guy in a radio station?
No, it's just news, regular news. And it's on a TV. It's on a TV news.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It doesn't make sense. And also, I don't know, they did it because it's a callback to Resident Evil 2. They have a zombie alligator that they did brain surgery on, and now they can control it. But they don't explain where they got it. Also, I know it's a zombie gator, but it's also, they're like in the icy cold waters. How is that thing still like even functional? And because they have it asleep until they activate it for the final episode to chase the Umbrella bad guys.
Yeah.
And it looks cool, but like, how did the thing in my head was like, how did you catch it, and how did you sedate it with like, and how did you brain surgery it, and like, why are you the boat dragging it around? Like, there's so many questions.
Listen, it's just zombie magic. You just gotta... to me, this feels like you are having the same thing happen to you that happened to me with Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, where you're like, we already have established lore. Stop adding!
That's exactly what it is. Except this isn't, like, canon to anything. But they are staying with... They said they're staying within the canon of the games, even though it makes no sense. Because if Umbrella popped up in 2022 in Africa... Where the fuck's Leon, Chris, Jill, fucking anyone who's been fighting Umbrella for several years prior? Where's
Ethan? They're all dead.
Where's Ethan Hunt? No, because Ada Wong is still there. Albert Wesker is like at the very end of like the 2022 timeline is like, girls, I'm gonna blow up the company and I'm gonna stay here because someone has to set it off. Y'all run away and find Ada Wong. Here's her address. So. She's still alive, and I guess the girls get away, and does Ada Wong teach them science?
Yeah, Ada Wong just says, I must carry on the torch that your noble and loving, kind father, Albert Wesker, passed on to me.
Why would Ada Wong first take care of two kids, let alone Albert Wesker's kids? She hated Albert Wesker. They were enemies. And why would clone Wesker have her address, and how would it be correct? He's never been, like, there's a time, because it happened 17 years ago when Umbrella captured him, and then he was let to have a life. Did he meet up with Ada Wong? Like,
yeah.
What the
he was told about Ada Wong, and then here's what happened. He was told about Ada Wong from other Wesky, right? And so he gets out, he's hanging out, he's living his life, he's enjoying his Olive Garden fetish or whatever. And then he all of a sudden he's on his new smartphone trying to figure it out, trying to have a little fun. So he's like swiping right on people. Who shows up in Tinder? Fucking Ada Wong. That's what happened. And they met up for a date, and he was like, how fucking weird. And she was like, Albert Wesker? And he said, yes. Ada.
The thing is, like, even if he came in, he was just like, listen, I'm not the Albert Wesker you know. I'm a clone of him, and I'm not evil. Why would she believe him?
Huh? Here, okay, I got it.
Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to hear.
She's always wanted to fuck Albert Wesker. That's what it is.
Okay.
She was like, oh, thank God, Albert Wesker's on Tinder. Oh, I'm gonna fulfill a lifelong dream.
Thank God he's on Tinder. I was getting tired of that Leon Kennedy puny weenie.
Mm-hmm. And she's looking through his profile, and she's like, you know what, Albert? This says right here, Albert Wesker actually really enjoys Doritos, and I specifically remember him telling me he fucking hated Doritos. So this must be a clone Wesker.
I better go have sex with him just to be sure.
I gotta go have sex with him right now.
I heard he was packing massive schmeat. Just
we're gonna do a package of Doritos just to spite Wesker.
Look, if we do it on a bed of Doritos and like a fountain of Mountain Dew in the back, I'll know it's not Albert.
Oh no, because Albert Wesker, he fucking hates gamers.
Yeah.
He hates them.
So, like, everything's just really convoluted, and you hate the main character, and, like, nothing's really, like, making sense. Like, it's a shame. Here's what, I've heard from people. It sounds like they wrote a zombie apocalypse Netflix show scenario, and Netflix is like, well, we have the Resident Evil IP, and they slap Resident Evil characters' names and monsters in there just for brand recognition.
Because, I mean, that's not out of the question.
So a lot of people said this show would wouldn't be as like offensive to fans if it just wasn't Resident Evil. It would have been a run-of-the-mill generic zombie show. And people would have probably enjoyed it more. But knowing that they are like, this is Resident Evil and this has canon and all this shit, it just pisses off like the fans who are like, but wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I guess the thing is, because this happened, there's a you have that suspicion about things, and it's very rare that it's ever confirmed.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
why would they? They would just be embarrassed if it was confirmed.
A very clear one that this happened to, and that has been confirmed, was the fucking the Star Fox video game.
Really?
The one in which like you're on a dinosaur island.
Like, yeah.
That video game was not a Star Fox game.
It was supposed to be a different IP, but Nintendo didn't think it was strong enough to stand on its own, and was like, why don't you just put Star Fox on it?
Yeah, just fucking slap Fox in it. And they said, I guess.
Even though
that's what they did.
It probably would have been fine on its own. It was its first game. It probably could have like blossomed into something else.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad Star Fox game. It was a fine game on its own, I guess. What a bad Star Fox game.
It was a bad Star Fox game, but if it wasn't Star Fox, it probably would have been... It probably would have had a couple of sequels and been fine now.
I don't even know... Okay, I don't believe that, because, like, there are tons of games that are, like, B quality that's it. Like,
I think it probably would have gotten at least one more sequel.
Maybe, but like I feel like without that name recognition, that particular game system is like, it's fine, but it's nothing. Like
it was basically Legend of Zelda. That's because I've seen a lot of the footage before it got fucking bastardized into Star Fox.
Yeah,
it was basically Legend of Zelda with dinosaurs. And I mean, Fox.
The thing is, so it makes sense, right? That it makes sense that that was the game beforehand, that they added in some vehicles and shit. But again, like you have basically Legend of Zelda with dinosaurs, but you've already got Legend of Zelda. Like, what other sort of Legend of Zelda type adventure game has a bunch of sequels and shit?
So they put this game out, let's say. And it does mediocre. It does run of the mill. So they're like, okay, so let's make it a little less Legend of Zelda, more action RPG. You know, you're still exploring, but now you have like this dinosaur planet that you can explore more of, and there's magic, because that was in the game. There was magic that he was collecting. So and then you have like Crystal Fox, or whatever her name is, the blue one,
Crystal,
yeah, and you have like these other sections. Maybe you're switching off characters. Maybe she's more stealth heavy and maybe he's more action. Like they could play with the mechanics that way. Like she can only do certain magic. Maybe you have to like switch characters to get into certain areas. They could have gone after they set down the lore and the established like setting. They could have like gone off with that and changed it. Like, okay, well, the Legend of Zelda gameplay didn't quite work as well, but like here, they're in the sequel. They finished that story, and it was open to a sequel. So now we're in this new area, and it plays different because of X reasons.
Hey, Fee.
Yeah.
With what fucking money?
This was
what fucking money would they make another one?
This was let's say it did well enough. It did well enough.
That is a big supposition that I am not willing to go with you with.
Look,
it would not have made enough money to do
this. Was already a hypothetical.
Okay, but now it's a hypothetical that would have never happened.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that. I'm saying, let's say this got released and didn't get Star Fox's name branding on it, but everyone, were like down with it. Furries are down with it, and they're like, okay, and it got a cult classic, and it was good enough to get like a new Wii U game.
Okay.
Like just having the two games is fine, but at least Nintendo has another IP they can pull from.
No, I couldn't disagree with you more. It's like Nintendo, whenever they create a thing, if it's not like a blockbuster thing, even if it is a blockbuster thing, like it takes a long time to get another sequel going. Like,
but like
if it's not like A+ material, they're not going to bring it back out again.
See, but how hype is that they have like dinosaur action RPG land to be like, oh man, fucking we have nothing for this fucking slated season like in 2 years. How about we get to work in like on a little side project? It didn't have to be like AAA Nintendo. It could be like side hustle Nintendo, like with platinum games, like also like going in on it. And we just, let the fans, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, well, we didn't put a lot of effort into it. We just wanted to have something that season.
How hype is it? Not hype. That's what I'll say.
No,
it's not hype.
For you.
There are many other series that you could pick from besides weird B-tier fucking Dinosaur Planet. You fight the T-Rexes. It's like, I've played Turok.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I shot Turok. I did it.
You didn't shoot Turok. You shot as Turok.
I shot with Turok.
I was with Mr. Rock.
I shot all the Turoks.
Okay, before we devolve into more of that, last line. Resident Evil, the show, is a letdown. It's shitty. I hate it. If you're a big Resident Evil lore fan, you'll hate it because of what they did. Yeah, they do little Easter eggs, but that Easter eggs aren't enough to save a show from being badly written and a main character that you don't like or can't root for. That won't save the show. If they
that's fair.
If they put out another season, I'll definitely watch it because where could they go from where the point they left off?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, where could they have gone from Albert Wesker jumping into a fucking volcano, Fee?
Well, this was before he jumped into a volcano. He had just clones that nobody knew about. He
had some clones, baby, a secret clone.
I say it's a D minus. I hated the show. I hate it.
Okay, if it's a D minus, what's an F? Just real quick. I know we're at like 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is going to be the longest podcast of all time. What's an F, Fee?
Big Bang Theory.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not worse than Big Bang Theory, but it's only slightly better.
I accept this. I'm never going to watch Resident Evil. I watched the first and second movies and said, this is enough. I don't need to see anymore. And I played Code Veronica. That's the only Resident Evil game I played all the way through.
I've played all of them and beat only some of them.
Because it's so scary.
Because they're scary. And because I'm not good at puzzles and using my brain as much. So.
Man, Fee, the amount of potential you have if you just treated your ADHD, like what if you're just like a god genius and like just as soon as your brain is able to focus on anything, you're like, oh, I too can invent new math.
You got the fee math coming at you next summer. Just you wait.
New math just dropped. 1 times 1 is indeed not 1. It is 0.
Oh no, I don't want to be that guy. But if I'm a secret genius and I could show my math, as it were, then maybe. I don't know, man. Like my brain is real foggy. I do need to get checked. I keep putting it off.
Yeah, you got to go to your primary care physician and be like, "Hey, here's my symptoms," and then they would probably be like, "Okay, let's try it."
You know what? Next time I go get a checkup, I'll bring it up to them.
Hell yeah.
But until I get my checkup, you'll have to deal with me. I wonder if I'll act different. I wonder if I'll be fucking. I don't know. You tell me, Colby. Do you feel different?
I mean, so what I've noticed, so the way that my ADHD presents itself is, I'm unable to focus on boring tasks. It's really difficult for me to do things that are simple, but like whenever something is challenging or interesting to me, I will hyper focus on it. What I've noticed, like after, like while my like Adderall was working, is that it was much easier for me to get into that like focus mode and to realize that I was being unfocused and to like remove things that were distracting me. So it was easier for me to do that.
Okay, so let me question. I know this is running on too long, but let me question. Is your ADHD, do you think the severity is the same as mine?
Oh, no. Yours is way worse. Yours is way worse.
I don't know if I like that answer. Oh, man. I don't know. I guess so.
Yours is like, this man may die because he's driving and get distracted by something. That's your level of ADHD. I worry that like on a long drive, I'll be like, you know what? If I turned into a puddle and I went into the ocean and then I reassembled myself, would I be a giant? Oh shit, a truck!
Dude, I don't know what it is about long drives, but I'm like, I know some people have done this, but like going back home from work, sometimes you just lose yourself in between, and then you're at home. You're like, how did I get here?
Now you're like, huh?
This isn't my beautiful house.
Yeah.
This isn't my beautiful wife. Exactly. That's...
Well, how did I get here?
Fucking.
Okay, we gotta stop. We have to leave.
We do have to go. You can listen to us on Spotify, TikTok, iTunes, Podcatcher, all of them, every one of them. Kobe, go.
We did a Twitch stream of Mario Party 2. You can go check that out on our Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv/GoGetUsPod.
The VOD's still there.
It's probably there, and if it's not, I'm sorry. You can check us out on TikTok. You can check us out on YouTube. Leave as many reviews as you can legally. I don't know what those requirements are, and I'm not a lawyer.
Next week we're going to talk about hot shot coffee because Colby got one.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the harrowing tale of the Hot Shots coffee because it's in media res. You're coming in the middle of it.
Yeah. No, I think we've talked about it before.
No, I mean like with the journey of me actually getting it.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I want them to be hype.
Yeah, get hype, and then we will. We'll talk about it. Everything's great.
Everything's great.
Fee, take it away. Go.
I want you to get all the things that you love and cherish dearly, and then get a shitty director like Uwe Boll or Paul W.S. Anderson and have them make a movie, and then get a knife and then go get them.
Oh, get him!
Yeah.
This podcast does not advocate murder.
No,
it's necessary.
You said you took it to murder. I was gonna say slash your tires, but
oh, see, I thought
yeah.
No, you're right. I take a knife and go and cut up a nice piece of cake. You probably worked really hard on it.
I want you to take a knife and then just slice them. I don't know where to go. That's not a fucking
favorite piece of pie.
Slice their pizza in half. I want you to take a bat and beat a piñata. Just
that's right. I want you
don't
for them.
Yeah, but don't share any of the candy with them. Just
I want you to take a gun and defend them with your life from an invading army.
I want you to take a gun and fire it into the air and say go and watch them run out into the distance.
But the gun has a blank, so no one's going to get hurt by that bullet. It's fine.
Yeah, no one's going to get hurt except the environment.
Yes. Yes, because as you all know, pollution bullets are how starting pistols work.
This is a pure sludge bullet that we shot into a cloud and turned it into acid rain. That's the that's
this is the anti Captain America gun. This is how we keep Captain America in the ground.
Oh, did you mean Captain Planet?
I did mean Captain Planet.
I said Captain America.
It's 1 a.m. Bye.
Go get him.